on 11 carries last week against Hamilton. Second and long. Giles under pressure gets away from the first man. Loses the football. Still loose. Picked up by ChipCox. Touchdown Montreal.
Well, the one thing that Steven Giles can't do to keep his team in a position to win is turn over the football. You always think as a quarterback in terms of interceptions, but here it's the fumble. Both ChipCox and John Bowman come off the edge. Slide protection to the left for the Blue Bombers. Bowman just gets there before the guard. Brendan Labatt can get out to him, and he's got a free shot at Steven Giles.
ChipCox returned 2 fumbles for touchdowns last year. Has another this year. The Montreal offense couldn't get it done, but the defense chips in 6 as the Owls now lead by 9.
Let's go. You get a slide protection here. Looking back at that scoring play, what the offensive line has to do is count off. Number 1's got to get to the number 1 guy, 2's got to get to 2, 3's got to get to 3. In this case, the number 2 blocker, Brendan Labatt, doesn't get to the number 2 rusher, John Bowman. Bowman creates the pressure. Ramon Guzman comes up with the strip. Abi Khan tries. He can't squeeze it. ChipCox sure can. And the Montreal Alouettes have an early 9-0 lead.
And now Giles and the offense have to go right back to work. And they'll try their hand at a little bit of trickery as Brock Ralph with the carry. Tackle made by Cox.
Well, ChipCox, the most active defender in this Montreal front, does a nice job here. He's a defender to the offside where this play is coming from. Just stays at home, maintains outside leverage. Once the ball carrier commits to going inside, then he can commit to making the tackle.
First down, Giles gives to Reed. And ChipCox again wraps him up. He's up to the 50-yard line for a gain of 6. But ChipCox is putting on a show here in the first quarter.
Well, you can make a pretty good case for ChipCox as the Montreal Alouettes' best defender through the early portion of this season. Defensive end John Bowman was named the Defensive Player of the Month for July, but certainly ChipCox was working his way into the mix for August.
Second down for Giles. Steps up. Can he find the lane? Giles needs to get to midfield, and he will not. As he's brought down once again by Cox with the trip. And J.P. Picasiak finished him off as Giles comes up well short. Now the Winnipeg first down.
And ChipCox continuing his busy night. Good recognition. He's dropped into coverage, but once he knows that Steven Giles is going to run with this football, he can pass on those receivers, step up to make a play.
Second down to 25. Giles throws it out, and the pass is incomplete for Chris Davis. And Winnipeg will be forced to punt, and that was a frustrating possession. On second down, Giles the play fake, takes off himself, looking for the first down marker, and he'll just get it. ChipCox made the stop as Giles was able to battle ahead for what appears to be a Winnipeg first down.
Well, Steven Giles does a nice job of ball handling here after the fake to his running back, Fred Reed. Kind of hides the ball from the defense so that they'll bite a little bit harder on that fake. That allowed him to get just enough of an edge against a speedy defender in ChipCox to get to the outside. There's the fake, hides it behind his back before he takes off to the outside.
Giles, lots of pressure, fires over the top, looking at Terrence Edwards. Cox was with him step for step. And Edwards lobbying for a pass interference call, won't get it. See, the key there is like Kerry Watkins did. You got to start arguing while the ball is in the air.
That's right. Sell it. You got to sell it. A veteran like Terrence Edwards should know that. ChipCox just continues to be all over the field here tonight. A guy who's a converted defensive halfback, moved up to that linebacker spot a couple years ago. It's been a seamless transition for him. He suits that role perfectly. 100, he's hit 98 twice this season.
Clock running now. Giles has a look. Still under pressure now. Giles gets away. This is likely going to do it. Giles takes a hard shot from Cox with 1.5 seconds left in the opening half. Giles got rattled there by Cox.
We were, I think, inches away from Chris Leak being the most experienced quarterback in the building. Chip Cox hammers Stephen Giles.
Bounced him.
But Giles has got to hold on to that rock.
So do some of his receivers. And here's Terrence Edwards on a reverse. And he got belted down quickly. Shea Emery there to make the stop. It's a play here for Montreal. Second and long, Giles. Looking for a lane, can't find one, gets down to the 37-yard line. Chip Cox stayed with him the whole way and made sure that Giles didn't get loose.
Well, the speed of Chip Cox from that linebacker position has been such a factor in this football game so far. Again, the converted defensive halfback, a guy who has that great closing speed where sometimes he may not initially have what appears to be a great angle.
And two. Victory. Giles throws. The catch is made, but a tackle made immediately by Chip Cox. Wrapped up immediately on the play was Andre Sadegian. On their 35-yard line. 8:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Giles fires. Catch is made by Brock Ralph. He's got a first down and more out close to the 50-yard line. Chip Cox there to make the stop.
Has put his team in a position to win football games. Whether they've been able to complete those victories or not, the issue.
First down, that pass knocked down, and Chip Cox almost took that to the house.
The Chip Cox defensive clinic continues here at Percival Molson Stadium. Cox is going to come on the blitz on this play from the wide side of the field. Well-timed jump.